Hi, Mike. I was asked to say some nice things about you, but I'm a little worried because the nice Pastor Jeff is editing this, which means anything I have to say nice, unlikely as that sounds, he'll probably cut out.
Michael Weinzettle, what can I say? I inherited Michael. When I first came to STRC in 2009, he was an active elder on consistory and was for many years. I had the privilege of serving with him. And it wouldn't take me long to realize what an impact he would have on my life and on many lives of the life of the St. Thomas Reformed Church. He was around the STRC grounds a lot in those early days, especially helping out my brother's workshop become the program that it is today. Countless building and grounds meetings, planning, and seeing through countless maintenance projects, renovations, and restorations. If he wasn't, building a cabinet or fixing a broken chair, he was up singing in the choir or umpiring a two-pitch softball game. His name then was barely mentioned without his partner in crime, Brandon. It was always Michael and Brandon, Brandon and Michael. And it was those two who gave me and countless XYG youth the memories of a lifetime. Michael went from a fearless and always funny, faithful leader to a passionate but not overly pious prayer partner.
But I thought since you're such an old crock, I would just maybe take you down memory lane with some of those mission trips that we had back in the day, some of those fun times that we had together. It's hard to believe that some of those first group of kids we went to the Dominican Republic with are probably in their 40s now. It just shows how old you've become. I think our first trip was probably 1998. I had promised Tina Commission that before she graduates from high school, we would begin doing this. So it had to be around 97 or 98. But I wonder if you remember that first trip. We had these two young guys who slept in trees at night. Can you imagine that? It gives a whole new expression to somebody being not long out of the trees. Here are a couple other highlights that, as decrepit as you are, you probably don't remember. So I'll just kind of refresh your memory. Remember also that first trip, that guy who was kind of the property manager at YWAM. His name was Carl. He had those rotten teenage kids of his who used to kept trying to sell our kids all that junk food, candy and chips and soda, and we had to finally go to him and tell him to knock it off. Or maybe you remember another time we went to this Batey. It was really a hard place, and we went there to bring pencils and papers and notebooks to a mission school that had been set up there, and we came in with all of that stuff in a van. But we also had a ton of clothing, shoes, toiletries that we were going to distribute, but things just kind of got out of hand. And we couldn't really control the environment very well. And our host said, we got to get in the van and get out of here because people were just so desperate. And we started driving off and then realized that we had left you two behind. And we could see them running down the street after us with, maybe 24 children, some adults, chasing them down the street. And I said, we got to go, just leave them, we got to go. But you forced the driver to slow down so that they finally caught up and jumped into the side of the van and we sped off. Gosh, for all of these years, we just had these great times. 25 years ago, one of those early trips, because we still weren't in nicer accommodations yet. The kids kind of slept in a dorm area, and God bless her, Judy Spurl would stay with them, or Monica Bastian would stay with the kids, and we at least didn't have to sleep with the kids, but we slept in that glorified outhouse out back behind the kitchen. And for some dumb reason, I had said to you and Brandon that I don't really like being here because I hear stuff kind of rustling around in the ceiling, and what if it's rats? Well, the next night. And I've cherished this ever since. I still have it. Here, see? I still have the rat you and Brandon made for me. It says, "Only you," from Michael and Brandon. But you took this rat and you put it underneath where I was sleeping, or right next to the little sleeping bag I had, and then you dragged it across and woke me up, and I almost wet myself. I was so terrified. These are one of the memories I cherish of the times I spent with you, Michael. But here are some of the other memories. This is probably the nice part. Jeff will probably cut it out.
Michael, your impact is best described probably by the words of one of your former XYG students who wrote this letter after their first trip to the DR. We were changed. I was changed. For every shovelful of sand we moved, we received a truckload of thankfulness. For every yard of cement we laid, we received a mountainside of love. I never expected to see what I saw or feel the way I felt. Nothing could have prepared me for how my life would be impacted by this mission trip. So thank you.
You were the vice president of consistory and served with such dignity and such faith, and led that church through so many transformations in the 90s and the early 2000s. You sang in a choir. You were there to help us when we were rebuilding. You were there when we kicked off my brother's workshop, and you were one of the first construction people to work on that program with those young people. You have been a faithful servant of that church, a faithful servant of Christ for so many years, and at least as one of the lucky pastors who got to work with you, Mike. God bless you. I hope your future is just as wonderful as your past has been, and I am so grateful to you. Thanks, Mike.
So thank you, John Michael Weinzettle, for the impact that you've made on me and all of our lives in the St. Thomas Reformed Church. May the good Lord bless and keep you as you embark on your next mission. Peace.